Hello, dear folks. Welcome to the show, Jack Chow on the East West Show with G&E TV. About a month ago, we had a chance to talk about the gem coin
Right.
and its disaster with the consequences, with a pending lawsuit, so on and so forth.
Right.
There are lots of controversy about it. And what looks strange to me is that normally when you see something like that, you see one side, right? Now with this incident, you see the other side too.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very strong voice, super strong voice from the other side who are trying to protect the defendant that could be
Right.
the future to be defendant. And the voice is saying that it is not a fraud, and its investment is legit, and so on and so forth. So to get to the point, while the case is pending, I'm still applying my old principle. When the baby cries, bring the baby
Yeah.
to the mother.
Yeah.
The mother in this case being my good friend, Stephen Huntley, a financial consultant, trustworthy friend for years, to get to the answer, right? So you're welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks for having me back.
All right, thanks, sure. Without having to touch the nature of the case
Right.
or the inside of the case,
Right.
because we're all outsiders, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the case? Is this something a fraud? We can call it a fraud, or something good that went wrong, or something actually very good. So there are three possibilities.
I'm skeptical by nature because when you're dealing with people's financial futures, you want to be able to make sure that they
Can you say it louder for
that
the
they get
record,
what they
please?
want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
When I looked at this case, and again, I'm not privileged to the lawyers and what they have to say. I'm just reading it from what's public knowledge. When somebody says to me, "Look, at Steve, if I give you $1, and sometime in the future I'm going to give you $6,000," that puts up a red flag. Also, when people who are supposed to be in the public trust, people who are elected officials, who by nature should be looking out for the people's interests, and on one side of their mouth they're saying, "I'm looking out for the people's best interests," and the other side of their mouth they're saying, "You should buy this because, it's great, it's wonderful," and then it collapses. So it will be determined by a court of law whether it's a fraud. I'll leave to that, and that's going to take some time.
All right, okay.
But it's something that I would never in a billion years put any of my clients into. No matter how much emotion, how wonderful it is, I would look at that and say, there's something wrong here. There's something wrong.
To my audiences, we are doing the show
Yeah.
not for the purpose of getting into the case.
Right.
We merely want to bring this as an education
Right.
or referential information to our audiences. Later, someday, somehow, somewhere down the road, if you come across a situation like this, please be vigilant. Be aware that there are fraud out there who are trying to get to your money, to your wallet, by all means. That is the pure purpose of this show, right?
Right.
Without having to touch the side of the attorney, to plaintiffs, or even the defendant, or the future of the case. We're saying that if I'm right, may I just try to sum up what you made just in the statement.
Right.
Number one, if something is too good, well, better take a second consideration
That's
about
right.
it, right? Yeah, like I said, if I give you $1, I'll give you $2,000 in a year.
Right.
That could be something too much in the air,
Right.
right? And secondly, people tend to trust those elected officials
That's correct.
because they kind of represent them, because they have the charisma, call it that way, and they have the public trust. So when they kind of endorse it, they better be serious about the issue they're endorsing it.
Right.
Otherwise, you're leading
Right.
or misleading.
You're
right?
misleading people. In other words, I believe the councilman, he was a councilman at the time this happened, he was held by the public trust, dealing with the public's money, dealing with the public's future in the city. And at the same time, out of the other side of his mouth, he's saying, look, as long as I've got you here, I've already built up this level of trust. You need to trust me that this particular investment is going to pay you dividends and make you wealthy beyond your wildest expectations. In other words, what he was doing was, the word is a shill. In other words, he was being a shill. He was just saying, okay, when he shouldn't have been. He shouldn't have been endorsing anybody.
And of course, on his side, he has his own argument.
Right.
He may say that I only said this is good to my personal opinion, right? I didn't say, hey guys, come on in, join the party, invest in this thing. I didn't say that. So does that argument stand?
I think if I'm not a lawyer, but it wouldn't stand for me because the perception is the person has a public office. Therefore, by just perception, the person should be trustworthy and should be looking out for the person's interest. He shouldn't be turning around just endorsing a product. Because if he's going to endorse one product, why isn't he endorsing multiple products? Why isn't he endorsing, selling Avon or whatever? Okay. Something's really not right there. When you're a public official, when your state senator or the congressman says, look, you should be investing in this, I would take a very hard look at that to say, why is he saying that? What's in it for him, instead of looking out for my best interest or the public's interest.
In other words, he knows the argument.
Right.
He knows where he stands.
Right.
He also knows there is an advantage that he can take.
Right.
Right. There's an advantage of his position he can offer to the group of people, so that he knows that I have the public trust, and the public do trust him. So that he said, I just do it, say my personal opinion, and if you want to follow me, that's your own problem. Right. It's kind of tricky that way.
Right.
Am I right?
It's a legal issue. I understand that. But it's also the fact that he is in a position where his voice will be heard. Okay? And if his voice is be heard, you have to be careful about what you're saying. You would think that. Okay? He may say, look, I'm doing this, and if you want to follow me, that's fine. But the mere fact that he's a public official and that he's saying something like that, he's de facto endorsing this product or this service, puts him in a very precarious position. There's laws on the books that say you can't really do that. I'm sure I'm sure what he's doing is playing off people's emotion. He said, I got a voice. People can hear me. So I'm going to play off people's emotion. I'm going to just, and I'm going to say it kind of gently or whatever, but I'm going to play off that emotion that people are going to get rich if they come with me. Does that mean that they get rich, then they're going to vote for him? I don't know,
In other words, at the time when he endorsed this item, he thought he is protected.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, he is. He's not.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
Because common sense would tell that it is the public trust being used, being taken advantage of.
Right.
Am I right?
That's exactly right. Not to mention there's state law that says that a public official, I was reading, I forgot the name of the state law, but there's a public official really can't go out and say, I may be a public official one second, and then I'm a private citizen the next second who's endorsing this product. It doesn't work like that. You're a public official in the eyes of the law 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So everything you say is scrutinized.
Yeah. Because there is money there.
That's right.
There is money involved, right? And especially that is the hard-earned money.
That's right.
Some retirement money. So that has been screwed up. That's the serious
That's
issue,
true.
Right?
Yeah.
So, do you think the public has a claim to go against him? Not only in the sense of money, but to get to the to the reputation part, to the political issue?
I think that the people who put him in office, the voters, have a sacred trust to look at what he did when we gave him his office. We trusted him. We said, here, you're going to have the public trust.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, so I would look very hard at either, from what I know, he's still in office, you know, whether I would re-elect a person like that, whether I want him access to the political future of the city that I lived in. I'd be really careful about
now
that.
Now that he has resigned,
Yeah.
right? And to the fact that the city has been heard because you have one council member missing,
Right.
right? So as a voter, as one of the, as a constituents, as a body, they would say your wrongdoing has caused harm to the city, to my benefit.
I would agree.
To my political life, because I deserve a 5 representation. Now I'm down to only 4. So you caused at least 20% of political damage or something like that. So in that case, do the people of that city, of that very city, without having to mention the name of the city, have a right to go ahead to pursue for a political damage?
They may, but the thing about it like this, they have 5 councilmen, now they have 4, okay? So, so say that city decides we want to get a federal grant to fix the sewers in the city. That's going to be very hard for them to do. The government, the federal government or the state government is going to look very hard at that city and say, how are they going to spend that money? Are they going to be using it the way we want them to use it? It's going to make it difficult for them to generate other funds besides what they generate on the taxation, getting grants from the city, grants for the schools, grants from the state, that type of thing.
In other words, the dent is there.
Exactly.
It cannot be fixed. It's cost already.
Yeah, it's going to cost them already. It's going to take a long time for the city to get in a position where if they go to another government agency and ask for a grant, that government agency is going to say, oh,
at least they have to wait until next election.
Exactly.
To get somebody to fill in the blank.
The next cycle, yeah.
I see, next cycle. Okay, my dear audiences, today, once again, we're talking about our financial safety and financial security in terms of investment. We are using the Gemcoin situation or case for a lead line, not exactly case. We're talking about the nature of the public security in the sense of financial investment. With me is my good friend, Mr. Steve Hundley of Steve Hundley Financial Consultant Group. So let's take a moment out. When we come back, we'll find out. Of course, this is not only one. You're supposed to see one after another offers made to you. So how are we supposed to tell good ones from bad ones, right? So stay with us. Hello, dear folks, welcome back to the show. Jack Chow on the East West show with the G&E TV. Once again, we're using the Gemcoin instant or case for a lead line to get into the area of financial security and safety in terms of investment. With me is my good friend Steve Hundley. He is the founder and CEO of Hundley Financial Consultant Group. And we're using his knowledge to apply into this whole area to, number one, see what's wrong. To number two, see how we can, from now on, protect ourselves as versus all kinds of offers coming to you. Right? So now, question is very simple. How are we to tell whether it is opportunity or it is a fraud?
You know, some frauds right now are just unbelievable. People spending their whole life trying to defraud their fellow man. My first thing is internally. If it looks like it's too good to be true, it probably is. That's an old saying. I understand that, but it's. Second thing is, have a relationship with a professional. and have that relationship where you could say, look, my uncle told me that I could put my money in Gemcoin and get 6,000%. What do you think? And then to be able to receive an honest opinion. Say, okay, well, I think it's not the right way to go based on what you're telling me. The other thing is, I think you have to look at how transparent is this. I mean, if you, okay, in the case of Gemcoin, there's 2 amber mines, one's in the Dominican Republic, one's in Argentina. Okay, how transparent is that?
But there's nothing there.
You can't see anything. Can you?
And nothing there.
That's right. When you I'll give you an example. With my clients, they have the access to look at their account anytime they want to, around the clock. So one of the greatest scam artists of all time is Bernie Madoff, who's now in federal prison.
Yeah, he is.
And the thing that he did that was different.
Time for good.
He sent out. He said, we don't want you looking on the computer. We don't want you to have 24/7 access. We'll send you a statement every month. Well, the statement he just made up. He's pulled the numbers out of the air.
Statement.
Yeah. So be diligent. You know, ask questions. Even if you think it's a dumb question. You know, when I was in the 5th grade, they said the only dumb question is the one that doesn't get asked. You know, so ask questions. Be diligent. You know, and deal with people who are professionals, people who have your interest at heart. I'm not trying to get elected. Not trying to get, you know, trying to make millions of dollars. And people are licensed. I mean, if I was to say, like, I'll take myself an example. I have lots of securities licenses. Why would I want to put them in jeopardy to put somebody in a Gemcoin situation where they're going to probably lose all their money and I'm going to get sued and all this other stuff. But be diligent. And the last thing I would say is cut the emotion. It's going to sound crazy, but take the emotion out of it. I mean, if somebody comes to you and says, Jack, this is the greatest invention of all, this is the greatest investment of all time, look at it, but sleep on it. Take 24 hours. Take the emotion out of it.
Give yourself time to respond.
Take a deep breath. Take the emotion out.
Give yourself time to digest.
Right. And if worse comes to worse, call me. I will be happy to talk to you about it. Anytime, you understand, because it takes so much effort and so much skill to recover once you have invested most of your retirement savings into something like this, and it's gone. Now we got to start all over again. We got to literally start all over again.
The problem is that to the older folks, they do not even have the time to start all over.
Exactly. Exactly. If you're
Their
70 years,
life ends there tragically.
right.
Forever.
That's right.
Right. So that's the problem.
That money's gone.
Yeah.
And now I know that lawyers are going to try to recover it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can.
That's
I
where
hope they can.
exactly this whole thing gets the public condemnation
That's right.
about having ruined those elder people's
That's
life,
right.
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 So if this guy is 30 years old, he might have a chance to
Yeah.
to recover it and
Right.
stand up again. So if the guy is 80 years old, and then that's the end of the day.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have time to recover. So
No.
he's going to live. He's going to be restricted
You're right.
in his retirement to live off of whatever is.
In other words, to give it a summary, you're saying that when somebody offers you something,
Right.
which you cannot tell is opportunity or a fraud,
Right.
you take it down, take it to sleep, and next day think about it,
That's right.
and think again.
Right.
Let the emotion go away,
That's right.
right? Let the heat cool down,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then next thing you recommend, you suggest that they do investigation, do some due diligence
Right.
themselves
Right.
to find out if there's gold there, there is a gold there,
Yeah,
find out if
yeah.
there's really something there,
Right.
And then if they still cannot decide, go consult some professionals.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Ask them,
Yeah.
I've been offered this, so am I supposed to go ahead or am I supposed not to?
Yeah. And if it's a professional, he or she will take the time to give you an answer. If it's a person who's just trying to maybe get you involved in it and just say, oh yeah, it's the greatest thing in the world, whatever, I wouldn't listen to. But if this person say, I'd be happy to take a look at this for you.
On the other hand of the coin, though,
Right.
human, or like animals,
Right.
tend to be rapacious,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
They want more and more and more,
Right.
which is quite normal.
Right.
Take myself, for example, I don't hate money.
Yeah.
right? If somebody offers me a chance of money, of course,
Right.
I'll go for it, right? Being rapacious is a nature, right?
Correct.
So how do you, as a professional, balance the nature of being rapacious and the nature and the risk that are involved?
Okay. Fair enough. I always ask people, what do you want? What do you want to use the money for? Do you want to retire? Do you want to put your kids through college? Do you want to have a whatever? So that, if you take it back to a goal idea, what exactly you're trying to achieve here? I'm trying to have a relaxing retirement. I'm trying to do this, or go to China, or whatever. Then you work towards that goal. It tends to take the emotional part out of it. It tends to take, oh, we're going to take all this money and invest it, and we're going to make millions of dollars. Usually doesn't work out that way, Also, when you're dealing with people's financial future, you tend, at least I'm very conservative with it. Because I know human beings are out there and money can go down. It's just the way we are. But money can also go up. I'm looking for just a nice, steady, even growth. I'm not looking to make, 20% one day and lose 20% the next. I don't want to go down that roller coaster, And I also think it's listening to what people want. And a lot of it is communication. Can you pick up the phone and call a professional and say, look, I just got this Gemcoin thing in my desk, and it looks like the greatest thing in the world. What do you think? And they'll get it and receive an honest opinion and listen to what they have to say.
Well, probably you shall give me some kind of very basic education about investment. Right? Okay. Now, I can understand any size of production. I know productions are the activities, human activities of using means of production to produce. Right? Now, in the area if there is no production involved, for example, if there are only 100 apples in the world, right? And there's still there 100, only 100. If 100 people buy this 100 apple, that's one story. If 1 million people tries to buy the 100 apple, the value of the apple increases. Is that as simple as that?
That's pretty simple, yeah. Supply and demand.
All right. And then, if, for example, if each of the 100 apple sells for $1, and then you can say the total value of the world is $100. Right. Okay. Now, if 1,000 people, or like say 1 million people, buy this apple for $1, and then that's 100 million. So are we saying that the total value of the world increases from 100 to 100 million?
We're saying that the value of the apple is decreased, because it's gone from 100 people buying 100 apples, now it's 1 million people buying it. So the per amount per apple is decreased, but it's also spread out the risk, because what happens is you got 100 people buying 100 apples. When the price of apples drops tomorrow, you got 100 people going to go right with it. But if you got 1 million people and the price of apples drops tomorrow,
you got 1 million to
absorb all that to share that risk. So it cuts me or Jack, the individual investor, it cuts my risk down a lot.
Suppose I want to make money to invest my $1 into this Apple thing. How am I supposed to expect my dollar increase?
You look at what the Apple's being used for. You look at what's the demand for it right now. Okay, let's go back to Gemcoin. What's the world demand for amber? Is amber bought and sold on the commodity market in Chicago? No.
I don't think so.
No, not like gold or platinum or oil or whatever. So what is its value? Its value is only usually
on the lips.
Yeah, it's on the lips. There is some jewelry that's made out of it. Yeah, but so the underlying asset, which is amber, does it have any value? probably has some, but it's not bought and sold. There's no way to judge it. If I gave you an ounce of amber right now, do you know what it's worth? Because I have no idea what it's worth. I don't know either. You know? So when these people were buying amber, the rights to mine this amber in the Dominican, what were they buying? What was it going to be used for?
Yeah. They should ask themselves,
you know,
why or where am I using it?
Look around. Do you see your children?
Where am I supposed to sell it?
That's right. Who wants to use it? Is it something that's going to be vital to the manufacturing of electronics, as an example, or something? No, it's just amber.
Okay, all right, good. In other words, it has no value there at all.
It doesn't.
If they had been smart enough in the very beginning, they should ask the question, as the first question, what is the value of it?
Right.
If I get one piece, so how much can I sell for?
That's right.
All right, very good. Okay, that's a good point. My dear audience, we're trying to bring some education to everybody, including myself, because I, Jack Chow, has no knowledge, no background about money and how money is made. To me, a dollar is a dollar, that's it. Dollar remains a dollar forever.
Yeah.
Right. So now, with my friend Steve Hunley, we're trying to bring this information to our audiences to see we can be referential to help you to guide yourself, to protect yourself in the sense of investment when in the future opportunities, quote unquote, are offered to you. So let's take a short moment now. When we come back, we'll find out those are the things on the market. I mean, there are some cyber stuff, right, which are Bitcoin. Even harder to tell. So how are we protected? How can we protect ourselves? Okay, stay with us. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow is my name. East West is the show. G&E TV is the umbrella. We love the community. We love each and every single one of you. That's why me and my team are trying so hard to bring necessary positive information to you. See, whichever, whenever we can be referential, we can be some of value to you in protection of your financial security in terms of investment. With me today is a good friend of mine, Mr. Steve Hunley. He is the founder and the CEO of the Hunley Financial Group, Advising Group. So we talked about for the last two segments about the gem coin, about its legit, and then we talk about the opportunities that are offered to you. How about those things that does not even have an ember in it? Just say a concept. Just say so cyber. Right? How do we tell that is the opportunity, that is fake, that's totally fraud?
That is a difficult question because there's so much information out there. One of the items that's out in the marketplace right now is called Bitcoin. Bitcoin is recognized in some circles as legitimate internet currency. The reason it's out there is because there are certain organizations that don't want scrutiny in when they purchase things. But what is it worth? You know, can I take my Bitcoin and go down to Safeway and buy a steak? Probably can't do it.
Buy a sandwich.
What's it good for? The average guy is not buying and selling Bitcoin. It's a few people that are buying and selling it on the internet. What are they buying with it? They're not buying stock. They're not buying anything intangible. They're probably just buying maybe merchandise. Again, if you don't understand it, and believe me, I'm in the financial world. I don't understand it, so if I don't understand it, then how am I going to invest in it? You know.
Now that even you don't understand it,
Right.
how are you supposed to
That's right.
to expect me to understand?
That's right.
And then when I invest in it, okay, of course, I'm running into lots of risks.
Right. So that risk, by the way, that risk now transfers from you to me because now you and I've advised you. I said, Jack, you should put your money in Bitcoin. You should do all your money. Now I got to live with that. My reputation, my integrity is on the line here. Because if it goes down, who's the first person Jack going to call? He's not gonna.
And also about the Bitcoin, I have a question to ask.
Sure.
Who controls the issue of the big Bitcoin? For example, how many are there? 1 million pieces?
I don't know.
10 million pieces?
It changes every day.
And what if someday they decided to create 2 more billions, right? Yeah. And then the number increases, the value decreases. So who controls the publication for the issuance of the Bitcoin?
I don't know. There's a shady group of people, not illegally shady, but people whose faces you probably walk by in the street and not know, who are controlling the amount of Bitcoin that's put into it, how it's being used, and what its value is. In other words, it's what the only thing about there's this thing called fiat money. Fiat money is U.S. dollar is fiat money. It is good because the United States government says it's good. Bitcoin is the same way. Bitcoin is good because there's some shadowy people in the world, a group of people that say it's good.
But who are they?
I don't know. They're nameless, they're faceless, they're just done electronically.
So are you trusting somebody who you actually don't know?
That's right. There's no...
That's risky itself.
It's extremely risky.
The logic is very risky already.
And like you just said, let's say today that a Bitcoin is worth $100. Well then tomorrow, let's say they decide Bitcoin is not worth it. It's not worth it to have it in the internet. It goes away. Your $100 goes where? It goes with it.
Evaporates.
Goes into space. Goes into air. You know.
And are those free of legal responsibility?
There are.
If the value goes in air, evaporated.
If you're an investment advisor and you're advising your people to put their money in Bitcoin, and you don't understand it, when you're a financial advisor, the legal term is called a fiduciary. In other words, you have a responsibility to that person to act on their behalf, not to act on my behalf, but on their behalf. And if you put them in something that you don't understand, you are not a fiduciary. You are essentially putting yourself in jeopardy.
Okay, suppose, even if tomorrow your $1 of Bitcoin increases to $1.20.
Right.
Where does the extra 20 cents come from?
It becomes from the value of people around the world who are trading Bitcoins. And the underlying issue of that, again, it's good because we say it's good. It's not good because there's gold backing it up or platinum or the United States government is backing it up or state of California. No, it's good because we say it's good. So
it's good because the community, the whole community
right. I'm
says
sitting
it's
in Europe, you're sitting in LA. I think it goes up 20%. Okay, I'll give you 20% more Bitcoin. That's pretty risky.
And then that 20% has no guarantee at all. All right, it looks to me that if Amazon has a warehouse,
right,
so does Jack Ma, so they look the same.
Right.
Right. Yet they are not the same. I don't know where it is exactly the part that differentiates them from each other. So let's take a very short moment out. When we come back, can we specify ourselves within that point?
I'll do my best.
Okay. Hello, dear folks. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow on the East West Show with G&E TV. Talking about financial safety in terms of investment, there's a lot to talk about because those offers that are made to you on a day-to-day basis.
That's right.
There are a lot to say to help you to separate the good from bad ones. Right? With my friend, Mr. Stephen Hundley, founder and the CEO of the Hundley Financial Consultant Group.
Yeah.
We're trying to take some advices from him about what to do, what not to do.
Yeah.
Right? Before that, there is some kind of clarification to make.
Right.
And we were talking about Jack Ma versus Alibaba versus Amazon.
Right.
So I raised the question: if Alibaba has if Amazon has a warehouse,
Right.
so does Alibaba.
Right.
So how come we say they are different entities?
Okay. Let's look at what they're doing. Okay. And essentially, either I go on Alibaba or I go on Amazon. I buy something. I buy a book, as an example. I click on it. They go out, get the book, send it to me. Where it's different is, I think that, first of all, I read the story of Amazon and Jeff Bezos. First of all, Amazon is always trying to get closer to the customer. They're trying to get as close as they possibly can. That's why they spend a whole bunch of money just out in the valley, out in the San Fernando Valley out here, building a thing. They want to get the speed is very important to them. Accuracy and speed. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that it's Alibaba too. If I order my shoes or my book today at Alibaba, I want to get it tomorrow. So they're willing to try things. Where they may have some differences, first of all, Alibaba is now a publicly traded company. So they may not be used to the way America or the way the New York Stock Exchange or the government wants them to do business. In other words, as far providing information, that type of thing. Second
Alibaba
of all,
did go public.
they are.
Yeah,
But they have now they have a whole new set of regulations that they have to abide by. The Securities Exchange Commission, filing quarterly. I think also where they may be different is if you read the book about Amazon, Amazon is extremely fanatical about the customer. Matter of fact, when they have a board meeting, they have an empty chair at that board meeting, and they always say, who's the empty chair? That's the customer. So they're always trying to think of how can we help the customer? How can we make it a better experience? And Alibaba may be trying to catch up with that. Maybe thinking, wow, how do we, instead of how our systems work, how do we get it to be a better experience for the customer? If you look at Amazon, when you buy something now from them, and I just recently did, they're tracking it. They're telling you, okay, it's at the warehouse. Okay, Jack, it's going to be your house tomorrow. The other thing I think that's really interesting, if you look at Amazon, when they originally started, was shipping packages by whoever would ship it, whether it would be UPS or FedEx or whatever, and they still do. But majority of their packages right now are shipped by U.S. Postal Service, and they must have gone to the U.S. Postal Service and said, made them quite a deal. Said, we'll move millions of packages.
Plus, U.S. Postal Service is getting down.
Yeah.
They're almost out of business.
Right. So they came to them and they said, look, we move, I don't know how many millions of packages Amazon moves in a day, and now we're getting into Christmas time. We'll be your biggest customer. You give us a deal. But the U.S. Postal Service already has the delivery apparatus set up. They have post offices all over the United States.
Okay. Regardless of Amazon, regardless of Alibaba, where does their money come from?
Where does their money come from?
Their interest.
I'm not either.
Their money. How can they make money?
They make money by being efficient. They
They make money by pricing up. Pricing up.
Right, but they're also very, very.
By charging the service.
Right.
So $1 for a book, now you pay $1.10.
That's right.
$1.20, like that kind of.
That's right.
So does Amazon. So does Alibaba.
Right.
The same thing. Okay. Now, in that case, can we say those kind of business, if you want to invest, you're investing into some kind of a tangible entity rather than like a Bitcoin?
Oh yeah. When you buy stock in Amazon or Alibaba, you're buying in an actual company that has that you can look at their performance every day.
A tangible company.
Yeah,
right
they're moving a product, or they're moving a service.
They're moving product.
But they also look at expanding. I mean, one of the most interesting things is what's called Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime costs you $99, I think, to get into it. But I had a friend of mine who has a baby, and they actually do the analysis, and it's 10 cents a diaper cheaper to buy it through Amazon Prime, and
But you have to be a club member.
Yeah, you pay your $99 one time.
Like Costco.
Right, exactly. You pay your $99, and then you order it, and next day, this box full of diapers shows up. So
you have to continue buying, or otherwise your $99 is wasted.
that's right. You got to continue to buy. You got to use it intelligently, but also you have to look at the size of these companies. I mean, my gosh, Amazon. Now, Amazon is going into their prime season right now. From now until probably December the 23rd, I would guess. So they got more people. They got their systems.
The buying frenzy.
Yeah. Now, Alibaba might not do that. Alibaba might say, Christmas may not be as busy for them as, let's say, Chinese New Year is busy. I'm sure it's really busy for them. Yeah, okay. Or some other time. So they're dealing with the seasonality issues and the planning that goes into it. I'm sure they planned years in advance.
The reason I brought Amazon and Alibaba is to compare with those cyber stuff, right?
That's right.
So that we can probably almost come to a conclusion that you better deal with the tangible companies that has tangible products, that has tangible business, rather than those conceptual, the cyber stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. If you want to feel comfortable that a company's going to be around, I mean, it's going to be there, that's big, you're investing in it, and it's not going to be like a great whoop investment. It's not going to go up 30% one day and down 10%.
How do you commend this following example? That probably another type of business opportunities, I don't know, or investment opportunities. Let me describe it.
Okay.
This company, for example, sells pens, like this pen, right? It is sold in the market for $100 per.
Right.
Now, and because of the connection with the manufacturer of the pen, and because of the quantity I buy the pen, I can get, like, say, 1,000 pens for $20.
Okay.
Okay. Now, with the $20 being the cost of my pen, I give you the opportunity to touch the pen, the pen business.
Right.
You have to apply to be a member of my team.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And you're on level 1.
All right.
Right. And then you go ahead to convince your friends to come underneath you to get involved with the pen. Right. Okay. Now, I assign you the pen for $25, for example.
Right.
And then you assign your downstream for $30, for example. And then down the road, they can still get benefit because everybody sells the pen for $100. Right. You sell it for $100 versus your $25, and your downstream sells for $100 versus his cost. Goes on and on. The more downstream, the better. So, is this a structure, a scheme, or is this structure a business?
Wow, that is a hard question to answer because right now you're talking about companies. There's a lot of big companies that do this. And the one that comes to mind, and I'm not singling them out, bad or good, is Herbalife. Herbalife. Have you heard
Herbalife.
Herbalife.
Okay.
Herbalife does that. In other words, instead of selling pens, they sell soap products, home products.
Say soap.
And I get a cut of when Jack's in my organization. If Jack sells soap, I get a personal cut of it. Okay, there's some idea that is not a business, but the fact of the matter is that structure, that multi-level marketing structure, what it's called, is very legitimate. It's a very big business.
It's very legal.
Yeah, it's legal to do that. The reason is because you're not, the difference is a Ponzi scheme is your money has to come in the bottom to go out the top. Well, the way it kind of works the other way is you get people in the door, you're selling a legitimate product, and since I am sponsoring you, Jack, and you're going to be in my network, I would get a small percentage.
I get a cut from you.
I get a cut of what you
whatever
send.
you do.
That's right. So now you.
And you get some from whatever your downstream is.
Right. Now your cousin signs up, so when he sells something, you get a cut of it, I get a cut of it. And that's how it goes. It's very common to do it like that. So what you're trying to do is not only sell the product, but you're also trying to sell the idea of that this thing can grow.
multi-level.
It's called multi-level marketing.
Multi-level marketing.
Right.
So that is legit business.
It's done all
Very
it's
legit business.
It's done as we're standing. Yeah.
I see. So if somebody offers you an opportunity to invest in this, for example, soap bars,
Right.
the soap bar multi-level marketing.
Right.
So you can go ahead and invest.
I would look at it very strongly. Does it make sense to me? There are some people who are really bad at it. I mean, if you came to me and said, you know, I want you to get involved with Herbalife and I want you to sell down line, I'd say to them, because of my position, I probably can't do that because people trust me with their financial future, and I don't want to be saying, you want to buy my soap. If you want to do it just a little bit on the, if you want to do it a little bit on the side, and it's a big company like a Herbalife or Arbonne or Mary Kay or somebody like that, and you feel comfortable doing it, and it looks good to you, and you think you can do it, and it's not going to be your livelihood, it's not going to be, you're not going to eat because of it or pay your rent, why wouldn't you want to do that? There's a lot of times they do these parties where they'll sell, you invite your friends in and they'll sell like cooking utensils. I've seen that a lot, or Rubbermaids, that type of thing. It's very commonly done.
In other words, your advice would be, those are the opportunities you may want to try.
Yeah.
However, you don't want to use your milk money or bread money.
Yeah, you don't want to bet. You don't want to bet your house payment on it. You know, just have it for fun. And if it grows, great. And if it doesn't grow, it's okay.
Still okay, right?
Life goes on. You know.
Life goes on.
Yeah, you can still buy your soap from them, or you can still enjoy it.
And of course, you know, without any financial background, I may have not asked questions regarding those most dangerous symptoms were being offered to you. So as a professionals, what do you have in your mind to warn the public, be aware of, because they are, to you, the most dangerous?
I think if things, first of all, if it's not transparent, if I can't see what the product is, what the financials are, what's going on with this, that's the number one thing. Number two thing, if I don't understand it, I don't, you know, you come to me and say, buy Gemcoin. I don't understand how I'm going to make money with it. If I don't understand it, how am I going to make money with this deal? Then I would back away from it. Third of all, again, it's the smell test. If it smells too, you know, if it stinks, it doesn't smell right, you know, back away. Third of all, ask somebody. Don't keep. You're not expected to be a genius. You just go to a professional. Pick up the phone and call me and say, look, I got this deal. What do you think? You know, and I'll be honest. I'll say I think this is not for you. You know, but I think a lot of times, and then the last thing is, and this is going to be very hard for a lot of people, is cut the emotion out of it. Don't get so, oh my gosh, my cousin just went into Gemcoin and I'm going to be rich.
Get excited, thinking about being rich next day.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Back out of it. Take a look at it. Think about it, you know.
Sleep over with it.
Yeah, sleep on it. That's what I do.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, those are very, very valuable advices that I try so hard to bring my audiences for references. I have no background about financial investment, stuff like that. Anything green, well, I'm totally benighted. But this is a very good opportunity for you to understand when offers are being made to you, you should be able to tell. Number one, you want to ask for transparency. Right. Number two, you want to find out about the logic, the mechanism, how money is made, how money could be made. Right. And then if you are not sure, you want to consult people, consult professionals for professional help.
That's right.
Okay, my dear audiences, I should say that those are very, very, very valuable 3 points that you would like to take for devices. My dear friends, we will be continuing doing this same kind of show to bring you advices. And of course, there's a case developing over the Gemcoin issue. If there's anything that pop up, we'll bring it to you. In the meantime, we thank you for watching the show, and to my friends,
thank you, Jack.
Thank you very much for coming here.
Thank you, Jack. Good to see you.